All I know is I don't know what's going on, but technology. Arthur C. Clarke once said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Now, is this actually the case? Might it actually be magic? Is nature actually technology? Or is it literally magic and wolf girls all the way down? Fizz, you might have some words.
I know I should be wary. Still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose.
It's showtime!
Alrighty then. I guess what's going on? Memes here. We are back. Yes, I will highlight again. My shirt is actually not ripped. I actually got a bunch in the mail. We're still on shirt 1 right now, I think. It's you have layers under it, so less laundry. But speaking of layers, Fitz, that's a nice hat you have. Why might you be wearing that?
'Cause supposedly this was at some point the uniform for witches. According to Looney Tunes, at least.
Wait, you're a witch?
Isn't that somebody that does magic stuff?
Yes. Yes, that is accurate. Oh, you wait a second. Is Wolf Girl is that a subcategory of witch? Or is witch a subcategory of Wolf Girl?
I actually I need to do more research to figure out exactly how this works in human terms as to what is what.
So my question is, does the hat give you a bonus?
It gives me a bonus to fashion because it looks awesome.
Okay, so you got plus 3 cool points to Team Fizz. All right, now. Part of the reason for this is because I am often scatterbrained, and I had kind of thought it was a Friday. Totally forgot I had a show and everything. That I was looking at some other stuff and things. So again, this is going to be one of those things where I'm not going to really bother. I'm not going to overload your head with math. If I show you anything with a number, I'm just going to be like, look at the cow. So it's really
the cow.
Listen. I say that partially in jest, and not also because there's a literal cow behind me.
I was gonna say I wasn't here at my computer where I could watch, but I seen you had posted something about a big round cow, and I was like, sweet, I bet that cow's full of math.
Actually, it was very simple math. It's okay. So we'll show you. We'll just show the dang picture because we got the picture. Hold on, I gotta.
Did you find out it was cows all the way down instead of turtles like this whole time?
Well, the whole meme of that thing was it's the spherical god cow. So let's we can share that with the class. And again, it is a joke because back in the day, some Nobel Prize winning physicist or something wrote a book and they called it the God particle. They were referring to that thingy called like the Higgs boson. It was that hubbub back in 2012. Yeah, but it basically, like, back in the day, they turned on the Large Hadron Collider. It blew up. They fixed the problem, and then they turned it on again, and that time it actually started to work. And then after gathering a bunch of data, they saw at least significant evidence for something that resembled that Higgs boson thingy that completed the standard model of particle physics, so at least seems to make consistent sense. So hence, science seems to work as far as we understand it. But the spherical cow is the concept used in physics, is that we consider an ideal scenario, aka we're trying to forget that we're a bunch of mortal meatbags that have some fancy contraption that costs billions of dollars that's not measuring the actual thing, but the decay of a whole bunch of other stuff and things that we need to get billions and billions of events to mathematically go through. Basically, it's really hard. It's a lot of work. It's actually surprising that it seems to work.
But as a fun side effect of that blowing up part, though, is at least 2, possibly 3 timelines merged.
The terrible thing is, okay, depending on how you interpret things, what if it is quote unquote as above, as below? I'm just saying that hopefully the particles were colliding together at near the speed of light for observers like us. Hopefully they're not their own individual universes, or we may be committing genocide on a scale unimaginable.
Wow.
But we don't know that, so it's obviously okay.
I feel awful, just in case.
I'm so biased. I want to see like one of those new lepton colliders where they collide like the electrons like older brother together. Totally personal things and stuff there. Yes, nerdy. Happy pre-Halloween, and also sweet hat. Is that not a great hat?
I loved it. I glued some stuff to it that I thought looked, kind of cool.
I actually, wow, there are actually a whole bunch of different cute symbols on there. Is one of those Sailor Moon or Jupiter?
I don't know, even I just kind of went to Hobby Lobby and just grabbed some stuff, got some ribbons.
That makes so much dang sense. But just to conclude about my raving about the spherical god cow or whatever this is, if you try, no comment, nerdy. I cannot say. Fizz is from the moon, so is it cheese or is it not?
There's a stage between milk and the cheese. You turn the milk into cheese, so you should be asking if you get spherical milk, which milk is a liquid, so it's pretty much any shape you want it to be as long as you put it in there.
So kind of like how a single drop of something often just kind of looks very spherical, like morning dew and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh god, does that mean milk is a superposition between cow and cheese?
I mean,
what is the time frame? Because people will say that, it's the time frame, or you're allowed to violate things with virtual particles just for a really short time. How short is short? Does it depend? Oh god, I think Stephen Wolfram might be right. He's like, part of the potential, my Wolfram summer school project was, what would happen if you were I don't know, a lot smaller? What happens if you were the size of an ant? If you're crawling on a straw, if you're a really small ant, it's a jumbo straw, it might seem kind of flat to you, but it's just go around and around.
I don't know. If you're the size of an ant, the straw is at least a water slide.
Okay, that's fair. That's okay. What happens if you go from standard human to ant, and then you take, that's about 3 orders of magnitude, a power of 1,000. So go down 1,000 times smaller than an ant. It might look a lot more flat then.
Ooh,
that's what I should have said. I should have gone. Good catch. You actually caught me on that, and that's actually why we're talking about this. But just to conclude about the spherical god cow, it's just based upon this thing right here. It's that quote unquote god particle, whatever. I don't know about that, but here's a measured thing. We measured this. We think we measured something like this at our really expensive particle colliders. I
thought that said crap ton wavelength. It was gonna have
yeah. Basically. I mean, to be fair, it is really small. I think it says 10 to the minus 8. Okay, so it's human to ant, except we need to go 6 more times. So human to ant scale, down from the ant with the same magnitude, and we need to do that again, and again. Maybe one more and again. It's a crap ton small. I never thought about that, but it's all right. You take this thing, mass, you do the Einstein thing, you do your c squared. Mass times c squared, you get an energy. The spherical cow is that concept of, well, what if we assumed it was a perfect sphere? Because the joke is, there's no such thing as a spherical cow. But physicists like to think of things. What if we assumed a perfect sphere? The long story short is, I did that for this. I took its mass energy thingy, and then I just did 4/3 pi r cubed. Just a thing that you learned and you may have forgot about back in high school or something. It's the volume of a sphere. I just used the radius that happened to be associated with the same particle that I put in there. You divide that into the vacuum energy density, and it gets you like the same magnitude of the cosmological constant that nobody knows what's going on there. So I called it. I'm like, I literally just take the stuff, did the things, and just did the basic. What if I assumed it was a thing? Oh, that's unexpected. So I called it the spherical god cow. That's all.
Nice.
So I have no idea. It's probably just a coincidence or something like that. But as a gamer, I see different things, and it's like, I have no idea what's going on here. What if I asked, like, Wolfram Alpha the question? Thank you, Thad and Professor and Team Wolfram. Oh, tardigrade, yes. Those are the only current... To be fair, since Fizz left her post at the moon currently has nobody in charge, except for a few tardigrades. Oh, and the man on the moon, but the man on the moon is no longer alive, and the tardigrades you need to add actual liquid water to them.
Actual liquid water as opposed to dehydrated.
No, wait, well, because to be fair, Fizz, isn't the moon a little chilly? Like that doesn't really have much of an atmosphere.
Yeah, it's pretty cold.
That's why you had to be in your celestial wolf form. Otherwise, you'd be.
Yeah, mortal form definitely would not be able to handle the moon, the actual physical moon. Yeah.
Unless is the moon goddess's palace, does it actually have an atmosphere? Like, is it warmer and stuff? Is there actual liquid non-magic water?
I'm pretty sure you would call absolutely everything that is there magic.
Okay, fair. Okay, well, that's supposed to be the part of this stream.
But you did talk about the god particle for a second there. That's technically the biggest difference between the celestial realm and the human mortal physical realm is the fact that the mortal realm is run by its own naturally occurring rules that were set up, before you guys were a thought.
Wow, thanks.
Right, but that is how you can do these calculations, is the fact that there is rules. You guys have been, messing around, figuring out what those rules are, and typically how to break them immediately. But there's like an encoded in your molecules rules for how things works. So the problem with the celestial realm, to the celestial realm, it is actually a problem as well. It's the fact that everything is just pure energy and they can do whatever the fuck they want. There is nothing governing what they can do outside of their actual capabilities figuring out what to do. So the only other rules are like actual like laws, not laws of nature, but like laws like, okay, yes, you can do that, but if you do that, we're going to unexist you because that'll break something.
So you say that, and I'm like, a bunch of rules that govern everything. I'm like,
yes.
Is it a coincidence that the Wolf Girl basically said what Stephen Wolfram is saying?
Yes, exactly that.
Apparently he did some of these rules, and he's like, all right, let's see. And like, he tried this for a while, and he's like, can I see if these systems will evolve to do something interesting? And for a while, like he did in like the 80s or something, he's like, it didn't work. And then apparently, like, the whole neural net thingy that a lot of these large language and whatever models are based on, a lot of this, according to legend, came about because somebody made a mistake. They were just doing like image recognition stuff, and like they went away for like a vacation, but they never shut the machine off. So it just kept running for an entire month. And amazingly enough, after it hit like a critical amount of like training data, it actually seemed to work pretty well. So like that's how we got like Dolly and a lot of the magic that Nerdy works on all the time. Like I see some of the things he's doing, I'm just like, yes, Nerdy has actually a very great channel for if anybody, in my opinion, is interested in that. Very, very playful.
Yeah, you shouldn't call them rules. I should have called them like more like laws, and there's always exceptions. And if those exceptions end up awesome, then they become the new law.
Well, that's literally what's in here, because apparently the parameter was try to extend your existence as long as possible, but not infinity. Because if you did that, then all of a sudden you're going to run into a whole bunch of overpopulation.
There's going to be a lot of...
But it apparently seemed to start going into interesting patterns. And basically, once he did this again in the past few years, things started to work. Like they would work, it would change, and then sometimes the change would just lead to it completely going extinct. And other times
sometimes it stops working. But that you're working within the laws right there. The laws of the mortal realm and physical mortal realm right there. You are actually working within the laws. It's just that outside of that, you can do whatever the heck you want to. Like just go, have at it. Try to live infinity. See what happens.
Just for us, the math nerds and statistics folks out there. To be fair, I had never scrolled this far down in this particular a blog post from Stephen Wolfram. So this is basically, they're trying to get to longer lifelines and stuff like that. So it's like, all right, you don't live very long. All right. It starts to go out there. And wait a second. This is starting to look one of those standard distribution things. Folks may have heard the quote unquote bell curve, because it starts to look like a bell, and it seems to model remarkably well distributions of stuff and things in our world. So it's
covering up half of it with Nerdy, though. Oh, you were covering up half of the charts.
Sorry. Oh God. There we go. Okay, so it was the whole. You start off here. Okay. Doesn't look very like a bell or a statistical distribution, and then they call it Gaussian because, I don't know, smooth curve or something. That's an incorrect analogy. But now, again, this is fantastic. Is it true? I don't know. I don't operate down on that level like Stephen Wolfram does. But I have also seen, I'll look it up in a sec. Fizz, tell us about some stuff and things that might make sense, or biology stuffs.
Sweet.
I want to look up a diagram.
Okay. Well, because all of this stuff is still working within those laws. Those laws are allowing that to be capable. It's allowing for mutations to happen. The laws technically govern everything on a molecular level, pretty much. But that is, again, for the mortal and physical realm. Which you guys have pretty much figured out. You guys pretty much figured out how that works, and now you're fucking with it, which is awesome for me.
What could go wrong?
Exactly. But that's the best part. But yeah, no, and then in the celestial realm, things seem a lot more like magic because it looks a lot less logical. So the moon to y'all is that big old ball up there, which it also is to us, but it's also like its own freaking realm and stuff. That if you go up there, you're not going to see, because it doesn't cross over with y'all's. However, some other realms do. Technically are more over top of the mortal and physical one. So sometimes weird stuff does happen here. That's weird to y'all. And it looks like magic.
Oh.
It's because it's a different set of rules almost. Or a different set of natural laws, because there aren't really natural laws. It's just, let me figure out how to bend time and space to my will. Oh, neat. Look what I did. Like,
So would you say that maybe that's a matter of perspective?
same.
Okay. Well, because if you were a higher dimensional being, let's say, some may view those as basically if you could see things that an observer like us can't, at that point it's like by definition, I think they call that an oracle. Somebody that can just kind of give you the answer.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that you guys just kind of, a lot of you humans just like chalk up as like fake or coincidence. None of it is. And we're not 100% sure why the mortal realm just doesn't notice, other than when we make sure they don't.
Wait a second. Is somebody meddling? That's going back to like Hercules, the legendary journeys. It's like when the ancient gods were petty and cruel. They plagued mankind with suffering. Oh, it makes me so sad that you can't actually get that full intro on YouTube.
Oh,
They knocked down the entire thing and stuff. You can listen to it in, I think, Portuguese.
oh, dang. Yeah, no, a lot of meddling happened. That's when the Celestial Realm had to make like a rule, like a for real rule that was like, you know what? We're fucking up nature. Let's not. Let's just watch what happens on its own. That's way cooler. Okay. But also, yeah, some stuff, deja vu, this and that. Timelines get fucked with whenever something big happens.
Oh God, that also sounds like some quantum mechanics.
Mm-hmm. It all can be explained with science technically, but it also looks like magic and sounds like magic when y'all talk about it. From a not scientific perspective, like hey, ghostesses.
Wait a second. Go on.
Some of y'all don't believe in ghosts. Some of y'all have been inventing stuff to try and find the ghosts. And find proof of the ghosts. Yes. Ghosts are real.
So when you say ghosts, I'm
sorry. I know I should be wary. Still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose.
It's showtime!
I think I almost found it. I'm going through Wilhelm's. I know he showed this to me. I'm looking for the dang. Where's the thingy that he has?
That is a lot of dots.
I know. There's so many dots. I don't know what they all mean.
Hello, some person and Poindexter and Casual.
Yes. Welcome everybody that I've completely ignored. I apologize.
I'm a chat reader. Don't worry.
Oh, and Poindexter. Some person. Geisha. All right. God, we're not supposed to be going through all this. I don't even know what it means. Okay. I'm just going to say with word. Oh, God, Twitter. Hold on. Okay. This is. Okay. Let's get into the whole reason I'm talking about this. One point. Hold on. Let me actually share the audio because I think this is pretty good. All right. So this is literally how my mind works. I apologize. All right. Share the audio.
This is magic,
but you. All right. Did you hear some words?
I heard magic. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, magic. There we go. All right. So, let's play. This is from my friends at the Demystify Sci channel, Anastasia and Shiloh.
The Big Bang, or the fundamental reality of quantum mechanics being incomprehensible to the human mind and just being paradoxical by its very nature. Everyone in the world accepts that it is just magic. We're the only ones that are like, no, I don't think that it is magic.
That's what I'm so fascinated by.
Yeah.
I love reaching that point with people, right? If you come from the academic culture, there are these little pieces of magic, but you kind of got to dig to find them. But people just figure, oh, well, I probably just need to like take some higher level courses and maybe it'll make sense at that point. But it's more on the surface with some of these other far out people who are just so blown away by the phenomenon itself that they can't even really be bothered to consider how it would happen.
The point of what we're doing here is that we're out there looking for the people that are presenting weird ideas through a very specific lens of, okay, this is really crazy. Now we should figure out how this is happening.
I know. It's almost like trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You humans are pretty awesome, because you took this stuff and, for a good while, y'all accepted, like, neat, magic. But as soon as you started figuring out, even on accident, how a couple of things worked, you really got into it. Like, oh, how does everything work? So now the stuff that seems like magic is just the stuff you haven't figured out how it works yet.
Well, I mean, to be fair, even back in the day, it was like 1700s. Good old Isaac Newton, or depending on who you ask, rumor has it he may have been kind of a dick, but he's arguably the greatest scientist of all time. Like when he did that whole like Newtonian gravity and stuff, and we named gravity after him, and the Newton, and all these different things. Even at the time, he's like, I have no idea how this works. I don't know, God. Here's a relationship from the data. This seems to work. Bada boom, bada bing. Here's your Newtonian law of gravity. It's like, and it still seems to work today up to about 7 significant digits of precision, according to Sir Roger Penrose.
There will always be random exceptions, which is also in itself science.
And as Nerdy says, humans.
Well, you explain it in your terms, in your physical, like, reality of how things work. Like, say, you're not gonna see a person just like go, you know what? I feel like knowing how to fly and just up and doing it because they feel like it. You guys have to build stuff and do stuff to recreate proper situations to get your butts off the ground. And back down safely sometimes.
It can be very concerning. I've heard Piper's had a few experiences where the little lieutenant needs to give her hand pats. It's okay. It's okay. But thank you, Fizz, for bringing us back.
Flyer.
Thank you. Yeah, you can spin your tail.
Yeah,
because
you can't. Exactly, though. The celestial realm is kind of like you really can just go, you know what? I need to fly somewhere and just go. Actually, you can just be like, I need to teleport somewhere and just go, because you are just energy, and energy is just information you're transferring from one place to another. And they just like doing it with style for fun. Because what else?
I feel like Liminal is gonna try to call you on quantum teleportation, but then you may extend the argument to say, but am I the same, Fizz, or am I a different configuration? Because you're not.
Oh, no. If we're talking about trying to teleport like an actual for real person, like a mortal meat sack, yeah. Because you guys' energy needs these meat sacks in order to freaking interact with the freaking world. Celestial Realm doesn't need that.
I just realized you could just invoke wormholes, and since you don't have a meat suit, okay.
I'm trying to, like, that's why the Celestial Realm will look even more like magic, is because they're not confined to the laws that govern physical people and stuff, because they're not.
I'm gonna tend to agree with Poindexter. The question is the answer. And I think, good old Einstein is alleged to have said when asked, Professor Einstein, if you needed to solve a problem in 1 hour to save the world, how would you do it? He then calmly responded, I would spend 55 minutes proposing the proper question and 5 minutes answering it.
That's pretty cute. He was a pretty cute human
I mean, the thing is, and I never really, I'm just like, oh, no, he's a scientist doing. People are like, oh, this. I think part of it is, well, one, there was a lot of, I think Arthur Eddington, which was kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say Neil deGrasse Tyson of the time, but basically big scientist, pretty famous. A lot of people listen to him. He may or may not have fudged some numbers on one of his things, trying to prove Einstein's theory, but it later seemed to pan out. Um, but long story short is he did have some public hype, but genuinely he also did seem to be a good dude, and that doesn't always happen because they kind of usually say don't meet your heroes because a lot of times it's like you'll hear the legend of somebody and then you meet them and it's like that person was a dick. Might be a complete genius, might have revolutionized the world. They could still be a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I resemble that. It's my middle name. But yes, literally magic.
See, Liminal says, don't think it's possible to identify something that is supernatural. It is not possible for you guys because otherwise it would be natural. Like, if you can identify it and sense it and all that stuff, then it is in your environment. Which is why, but you guys call stuff supernatural that's not supernatural. Like ghosts.
Please continue. I just love you talking about supernatural stuff while wearing that hat. It like just seems so funny. I'm just like,
ghosts are technically not supernatural for y'all. If that energy is lingering, it's lingering in your realm. Is it supposed to? Really not supposed to. So that's why not every single death results in a ghost somewhere. Supernatural. Ooh, fancy. But you guys, kind of like the Celestials, are energy. You are information riding around in your meat suits so that you can interact with the environment around you and do stuff because you're not strong enough on your own to just exist. Make yourself exist. However, if you've been out there energizing pretty long, some stay as ghosts when they die. They are usually stuck within their last memory over and over and over again, completely unaware. They're just doing the thing. While the other ones move on to go and make another meat suit. You can't carry your memories with you very well, which is why you don't have people knowing every single one of their past lives. You can't really carry much information. The information that you carry with you when you croak is stuff that has been ingrained in there hardcore throughout your life, and it will have an effect on your personality in your next one. But
okay, so
unless
we've got the reincarnation and epigenetics, Fizz, you're on a roll. Continue.
Mm-hmm. But if you are, and some of that involves the celestial realm because that's how you can access it. Because then you are pure energy. It's just that you don't get to really bring a personality with you. You do not have that much power to bring much information with you at all. Go through a whole bunch of lives, and you will actually start building up. And over time, you'll build up through experiences. You'll be smarter. You'll start being smarter about your life choices.
This is sounding like an RPG. I feel like this is like Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter, where you kept on trying to like do better each time, or some of those other games. I
was gonna say that's a roguelike then, where you just die and like, all right, let's do it all over again.
That's
see how far we get behind. This time. Sorry. It is kind of like that, but yeah, ghosts. I like that you guys did come up with like different types of ghosts. That can tell you how old that soul was when it got stuck. But generally, they are stuck within the last freaking memory that had like a hardcore impact on them. Hardcore enough to keep. And then just kind of chill there and repeat. And that can interact, if it's strong enough, interact with your realm Because it's technically between two realms at that point.
Okay. So that's a lot to unpack right there. I'm like, all right.
It is
Memories
still
can
all can be explained with science. And it just doesn't sound like it. It sounds like Halloween stories.
It's well, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't have the answer. If number one, I don't know if all these large language models and stuff. I don't know if they're conscious. Heck, I don't know if I'm conscious. The more I learn about these things, the more I'm like, that just kind of sounds like how I operate. I'm like, just a very basic rule set. I'm projecting what's the next word I'm gonna say because I have some grilled in amount of training data within a meat suit and everything because I've been immersed in these things, absorbing a whole bunch of information and everything. I don't know. Lynn was commenting, the more I learn about quantum mechanics, lattice quantum field theory, etc., the more I just want to be a bean farmer. It's probably a very wise
you
thing.
know that the reason they say that the more intelligent someone is, generally the more depressed they get, it is because they know too much and can't do jack about it.
Well, it's ultimately it's like, oh, what's the best explanation? It's like you point a telescope towards Mars back in the day. Well, it seems to have some dark areas. Well, that's just like the seasons and stuff like that. It's like, oh, these river those are just Martian canals. They're just doing the same thing that we are, and it's like that seemed to be the obvious thing for a good long while, and it really wasn't that long ago. I think it's within generational memory where it's like we don't really seem to see any life, at least as we know it, on Mars. Maybe there was a big nuclear war or something. There's apparently some radioactivity that some people say maybe that was the case. Maybe it was just a big rock with some uranium in it. I don't know. I don't know. Some person, it should allow you, I think people can share links there and everything. People might just need to copy and paste it there.
It's more, the more you guys figure out about how mortal life, physical life works, the less the less luster life itself has. You kind of just feel like, all right, so I'm just sitting here watching this do what it's supposed to, I guess.
What's the point? No, it's just gonna happen anyway. Where's the woo, the ooh, the ah, the frickin' magic, the shebang, all the other stuff and things that we like and everything.
Very true ignorance is bliss because everything is a lot more exciting when you don't know how it works.
Well, I mean, what can I say? What can I say? There are certain little things where it's like, I swear, the more cute and adorable something is, the more you're allowed to get away with stuff. Well, so whether it's somehow squirrels, it's like, well, that whole quote-unquote squirrel with a gun video game, it's like, okay, if you just have another human being doing that, it's like, that game will be rated so many other things, because now it's human on human violence. It's a cute, adorable squirrel that was kidnapped by an evil organization. It's like, of course, it's okay.
Kidnapped it, broke in on accident, and stole something of theirs.
I thought the intro to the game was, it was in there, something happened, somebody got attacked, it dropped a gun in front of it, and then the squirrel just took it as an opportunity. Maybe that's just the trailer. I never played it.
The squirrel mistook something for an acorn and ate it, and apparently the squirrel has like a bottomless pit for a gut. And they needed to get it back by removing it from the squirrel, and the squirrel was like, nope, and kept running around. Figured out guns and stuff, and ran around and friggin' ate more things that weren't actually acorns.
Powered up. The beginning of that story sounded a lot like the plot to Alien Resurrection. It's like, well, we need to dig in and cut out and get this very important MacGuffin out of our protagonist here. So whether it's an alien queen or some high-tech acorn thing, it was the same thing, and it didn't go well for all the folks involved either way, so... That's a short analogy. Oh, but for bringing us back to technology, because we've been kind of talking sciencey. Oh, there's some stuff and things. Now, well, human beings, it's like I may not be able to wave my hands and shoot like a bolt of lightning or something like that, but apparently it's at least publicly available now that at least the United States Armed Forces have access to high-powered lasers that can actually like make things like start to just burn and melt and depending on what it is, maybe explode or something like that, and we can power them with like nuclear reactors because it requires a crap ton of juice and everything. So it's like that sounds maybe not quite like a Kamehameha, but if you're getting the Hadouken out of it and you can make it look cool, then I don't know. It may have been also how I got some of these scars as a young pyromaniac, but that's another story. The moral we're supposed to be getting to is, all right. So basically, we had Anastasia and Shiloh, and they said a lot of stuff about like basically what you just kind of said there. About it's like, well, it can look like magic. Magic is fun, but if you really scienced it enough, so to speak, the magic might not quite be magic. Because now you can explain it in a way that we can try to wrap our heads around. If that's possible, maybe it isn't. Maybe we're just too flesh suity, and maybe our children, these large language model agents, will figure it out because they're not encompassed by the physical form. So whether that's a positive or negative, I don't know. Fizz, I know you've gone both ways on that. Oh, that sounded. I'm saying I've seen you in a physical form, or at least big poofy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, I am. Like I can enter your realm. Yeah. And then I am constrained by the laws of nature when I do.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, laws blow.
Well, some rules are made to be broken, but all right. So I commented here. I'm like, I just did the little comment that we have in the little show description. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Quote from Arthur C. Clarke. To which, Captain Infinity, from the time-traveling police, he caught me! He caught me! Because even when I was posting that, I'm like, this is not a perfect analogy. So he called me on being lazy. It's like, quantum mechanics is not a technology. It's part of nature. Clarke's quote does not apply. My response is, you are correct and logical. Not an accurate analogy. Unless nature is technology. We have our little bot friend there.
I feel like you guys are using technology to figure out and recreate what nature does on its own. So it can apply.
But
very situational.
Okay. So either this goes one of two ways. It's either, do human beings within our existence have the ability to fully replicate the laws of nature as we know it and understand precisely what is going on to whatever that might be for us? I feel like I don't know if we can reach it. Either that, or do we just get into the Futurama episode of The Universe in a Box? Where it's like, all right, we're here, and it's kind of like, basically everyone's like, all right, we're doing our thing. But it's like, wait a second, we're just in this person's universe in a box. It's kind of like the American Dad episode where Stan just keeps on throwing everybody in the goo and doing simulations rather than taking them on actual family vacations. Since he's a totally fictional CIA agent, it's like, wow, I love Family Vacation. And all Stan does, it just knocks out his entire family, puts them in these goo chambers, gives them the best family vacation 1 week, and he just sits on the couch and does whatever the heck he wants because his family is entertained and he doesn't have to deal with them. So that's Matrix-ish, but then again, the Futurama thing is, if you had sufficiently advanced technology, if you were to attempt to simulate universe, I keep hearing you basically need computer the size of universe. So I'm like, well, that seems hard from us. I'm like, well, what if you were to do that whole Turtles recursion? So rather than it's like, maybe it's, I don't know, spherical cows all the way down. Who knows? Maybe it's potentially, I don't know.
It's turtles all the way down.
Totally not out of context quote from Stephen Wolf. I initially just started trolling Stephen Wolf from it, then he converted.
World exists on the top of a giant turtle.
It's you start as a troll, and he gets me to work on a project, and it's funny how I didn't see this coming. I just wanted to troll folks and talk about science. I didn't, and again, I'm not saying if I could contribute something to the sum total of humanity or give somebody else an idea, that's fantastic. I'm a total narcissist. Do I love getting attention? I love attention. I'm not going to hide that at all. Am I going to rely on that the basis of absolutely everything? No, it's like a lot of these things probably just coincidences. That's all. But he said that, so I'm like, oh, he caught me. Captain Infinity was doing his role on the internet as the time travel police.
Oh my god, look, this guy has harassed Piper so bad over her Rift Riders comic book that she had to block it.
This is my first stop from Captain Infinity. I haven't been stopped by the time traveling police. This is my first offense.
And that was before he dubbed himself the time travel police. He just decided he was and wouldn't freaking stop. He wouldn't just wouldn't let the comic it's a kid's comic. He wouldn't let it go.
Some people take things on the internet quite seriously.
He takes time travel super seriously, and like they used to follow each other, and so she knew that and thought it was interesting. And really odd. She's never talked to him in person, right? But she thought he was interesting. He would have interesting time travel related conversations.
Yeah, because I think we follow each other and stuff. So I'm like, all right, it was at least interesting to all right.
And then she published Rift Riders. And then he just like, I don't know if it's trolling, but like it got so ridiculous and so much that she finally just had to block him. And then he dubbed himself the time travel police.
Wow. So Piper is wow, it's all her fault.
Yeah, she doesn't dislike him. She just
it just couldn't take it.
Yeah, she was like, dude, it is a fictional book for little kids. Please let me live my life now, okay? Like talking time travel with you was fun for a bit, and now you're just like you're taking it too far. Like I need to be able to live.
It's one of those old playful message board discussions when it stops being quite as playful, and then it's like massive wall of text crits you, and I'm like, all right.
And follows her around with it. That was what was really getting like super annoying, was like he was talking around in circles. Like, we already had this exact conversation. Now you're trying to have this exact conversation in every thread that I'm in, no matter what the thread is actually about. And any stream I'm on.
Oh,
you turn in the chat into that. Like, yeah, that was why she was finally like, look, it's really cool that you're into that this hardcore. That's really neat, but no, you're gonna. It's time to stop.
I was gonna say, I think the line of trolling, so to speak, and again, yeah, take it from a guy called, I don't know. I tend to think if you were going around and you were publishing things from Piper was putting out things from like Rift Riders and continually talking about time travel in a way that did not seem correct, if one wants to quickly interject and be like, no, blah, 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 that might be a thing that can be very annoying, especially if you're trying to promote a comic book where that's the premise. Well, I know that's fully annoying, but if you're talking about other things and you start just popping in when they're not talking about that seems...
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's what I was going to say. That's how it started, and it was fun. When she was promoting the book, and, he popped in with, so how did you tackle the explanation for time travel, in this book. How do you explain time travel?
Oh, some person knows Captain Fit. I've never spoken. I only just see some of the things, and like I said, it's like I saw enough interesting things. And I'm like, oh, I'll go follow this guy. There's some interesting things, and then this is the first time he stopped me. But not to belabor.
So yeah, you got by
Yeah.
the time travel. He is the time travel police. Apparently, some person says that he's an old English guy, carries himself like a Baron Munchausen Time Lord. So he's full on into it, even in person. He is
that
100% into the.
That reminds me of my old troll friend, my old classical misogynist friend, Cabby. May he rest in peace. But no, he was a British gentleman. He was a bit older and everything, and he was one of those friends where it's like, before Wikipedia was a thing, this was the friend you asked a question, and with a very high level of confidence, or at least going to have like somewhat of a decent answer, and like, how do you know all that?
Nice. Sometimes sees himself as a pro troll. All right. Piper usually likes playing with trolls, but he got too much. He managed to out troll her, man.
Sometimes I think it might be called like a trolling high, in that like you're having so much fun that you kind of like you're not realizing that the other person might not be having. I've occasionally had this where some folks, this channel very often started with just taking clips completely out of context, throwing silly music, and getting people to put together some crazy narrative about, I don't know, like butt-chugging caffeine, furries, and stuff like that. And it was playful, but some folks, it's occasionally, just send me a message. Just send me a message. Be like, okay, maybe that was a bit too far. Some folks, I don't for the live stream. It's like, I don't want that public. It's like, okay, I can unlist that and everything. It doesn't need to be publicly available anymore. I can't say I haven't done the same thing. The way you deal with that, it's like, pat on head, move on. Culture Casino is very good at that. Because that poor man, I've trolled in so many different ways. Literally, like, he's got the whole thing. It's like, all right, once I hit
nicest freaking guy, which is probably why everybody trolls him, is because
well, he's a good sport. He's a good sport, and he sticks to his word. So I give him that. It's like when he hit like 10,000 subscribers, he did the shirtless thing. We all got on, did this thing. He did the embarrassing thing, and he was a good sport because he said he was going to do that. He was a man of his word. So I respect him for that. But to bring it around, to go full circle, so to speak, I had to respond, you are correct in everything. Unless we're in like the simulation or something like that. So I should have restated that thing. And I actually had to think about this, and I actually thanked him for this, because I'm like, dude, thank you for like your comment, because like you got my brain to think in a way that like I wouldn't, or I didn't before. So I'm like, I actually had to reformulate it. I'm like, all right, I should have been restated as any sufficiently elementary phenomena is indistinguishable from magic. The most basic stuff and things that go on, at least as long as we don't know about them. Okay, maybe I need to rephrase this a little bit more, but it's like the most basic things seem like magic to us, or at least an observer like us.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's indistinguishable from magic until.
Okay. That's why I had to add my caveat. I just don't know yet, and
it's indistinguishable from magic until you learn how it works, and that's what science is: learning how magic works.
God dang it, Fizz! You just corrected me again. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, but I'm like, dude, phenomena of the sunrises is stopped being magic once you go to like elementary school. Like,
it's I was trying to keep it as close to the original thing without adding extra words and stuff to maintain the analogy, but
look, you already broke it down a whole bunch for him and took it away from the actual quote, which was technology. So at that point, you might as well go all the way and make it right, and then it's your quote.
I know.
Make that quote your bitch.
Well, this okay. I feel like at that point now you need to invoke something more like this. All right. You go to the rules of the multiverse. There we go. Yes, I'd say I felt it necessary to put it to the Akatsuki theme. No, it's a standard. It's like, all right, if there was just the universe of your mind, your world, your realm, whether it's this reality, whether it's, I don't know, in some reality of some fictional thing, whether it be on TV, in a comic book, in some form of a media or something. At some point or another, you can explore things that don't really seem to go on, but the sheer fact that we can conceptualize of things that don't go by our rules is an interesting thing in and of itself, if that's even possible. But
whenever you think up a place where the rules are different, it exists. You made it exist. You just don't get to be there. You get to be on boring old freaking this reality.
I feel like Netflix did a documentary or a show on this. I think it was called like Everything Everywhere All at Once or so. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either, but I've been told about it.
I heard good things, and even from people that aren't really into like science and stuff, they're like, dude, this was cool. So I feel like I should watch. But basically, it's that whole concept, and I think about that, and like some of the quote unquote interpretations of quantum mechanics or something like that. I'm like, part of me really wants that to be true, because I'm like, well, that's what I thought was going on when I was like 10 years old. I'm like, I read like Sonic the Hedgehog comic books and stuff like that. I'm like, there's all these different worlds. Well, obviously that has to exist somewhere in this realm of a multiverse, and coming up with like these. I'm like, oh, there's obviously a trans-dimensional gateway, which is obviously like a torus around like some sphere, and you can access all the different things. And in the center, there's always got to be a big zone for everyone to fight and everything, because why else would you have all these high-level characters and stuff like that around? And yeah, now you're getting right into my canon and everything.
Yeah, well, that exists because you said so. So there is a place where that is possible.
That is a common misconception, some person. I understand that. I occasionally get stopped outside of bars and ask for things. Not always true. I have a brown thumb, so it's it doesn't really work that well. I may know a guy, potentially, but all right, so after Fizz took all the wind out of my sails and had me have to go and re-edit a quote that I was trying to do again after I got caught by the time police. God, I got caught by the editor in a wizard hat or a witch's hat. Got caught by a wolf.
Right. What makes it different?
I feel like that's gender-based very often.
Okay, so it's a witch if it's a girl. I thought it was a warlock if it was a dude, but I don't remember.
No, okay. I've been ruined by this because, one, I've played a lot of World of Warcraft, but two, I also canonically learned about like witches and warlocks through like Bewitched, which came on like the 50s and 60s, and I did love that show. It's but no, within the canon of that, it's like, yes, dude magic users were warlocks. Gal magic users, they were witches. So witches and warlocks.
But witches then again, and wizards makes more sense because wizards wear the witch hat.
But isn't it technically a wizard hat or something like that? I say
when they're wearing it, sure, but it's still the same style of hat. Also, witches and wizards sounds better together than witches and warlocks. They got the whiz in there, the whiz.
I know. And then I include the canon of growing up as a mage, which was All right, we're not
How
gonna
much
call you
mages?
wizard, but we're just
That's
gonna
why-
say mage, generalization. And
That's why I'm
getting
like, bro, there's too many classifications of people doing the magic. And if you get down to it, if everybody would just agree on the exact classifications, then I think the words should be unisex to make life easier. But also it depend on how they do magic. Like if you do summoning magic, you should be whatever.
well, D&D draws its differentiations. It's like, all right, you're a wizard, you need to read these things. You're a sorcerer or sorceress. It's like, all right, you have some form of draconic bloodline or something like that with it.
I was gonna
that
say
gives you
some
mystical
just poop
things
magic,
and-
some need to get some ingredients and this and that and do rituals to make magic. Some need to learn spells and gotta have books to do magic. And then some do summoning, which they're still considered on the magic users instead of, just a summoner.
Hadouken.
Yeah, that's when they just
Yeah.
do magic. Yeah.
Some person caught me. The terrible thing is, what was that dude that like sings that was really popular? He got in trouble. He was mostly on Twitch, but he was over here. He's kind of zany. He's got the big hair and stuff. He was one of the biggest Twitch streamers, like Doc something or.
I'm not gonna
I don't
lie, I
know.
stream over there. I don't know nothing.
Okay, it's somebody said it's like, well, you kind of dress and look like him. Somebody told me that, and then randomly I was scrolling through, and then a video from him came up, and I think I was right next to him in the suggested videos, and I looked, and I'm like, oh my god, my brother's friend was right. We both dressed like maniacs. No, I forget. He was he the Twitch guy that went into the bathroom or something like that? The people were.
Oh,
I-
no.
But he went in there. It wasn't like he was trying to do. I don't know. I don't think it was the creepy time, but it was just like a policy violation. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I have no idea about other people. But all right. With that said, we've gone over time. Fizz, what do you got going?
I'm going to wander around in Minecraft for reals this time. At 9 p.m. Eastern.
Are the Raptors still after you?
I'm gonna find out. I am told that I'm in for a spooky surprise, so I'm probably gonna die a lot. Which, well, actually, that's usual though. But, but I might die screaming a lot.
Well, I mean, I'm
That's
not
awesome.
sure that's really a new thing, but
Yeah, I was gonna say that is also nothing new for Minecraft.
So if you're interested at following Twitch Fizz's potential brutal screaming deaths in Minecraft, feel free to follow her over there, as well as I got some Fizz stuff that she occasionally has a YouTube thing. Maybe she'll put some clips up there, and then we also got Piper's stuff and things with the Effort Show that apparently is coming back at the beginning of the year. Oh god, what am I doing?
And I will also be using my YouTube more at the beginning of the year. I kind of just stopped posting clips, so I have a lot of clips to go through and pick through.
To be
But
fair,
also, I'll be
I
doing-
almost feel you could just live stream just talking about pretty much anything.
Right? I've actually been asked to do more Let's Talk and then streaming games, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about talking for 3 hours sober.
No. It's, well, number one, do you need to do it sober? Number two, I feel like it's very sad, but just randomly chatting with folks might get more engagement than an 8-second banana clip.
Oh,
15 hours.
yeah, the clips. Yeah, I plan on doing actual stuff over on YouTube besides the clips. I'm just saying the clips should also start coming back onto the YouTubes, but special streams that won't be on Twitch will be done on YouTube instead.
Oh. Well, you heard it here.
I have an
folks.
ASMR mic, guys, so be ready. Prepare yourselves.
Oh, dear. Well, with that being said, no wolf girls were hurt in the making of this broadcast.
I'm broken. You broke me. Oh no. Oh dear. You guys? You guys! I just want to hug some